pull back. All right, so let's just do a brief review of the second ward off right. So we'll just do it by ourselves, application style. We're going to start from here basically, like we've already stepped in. Yeah. Good call. Yeah. So the punch is going to come from over here, but it's kind of like we just see it in our peripheral. We weren't ready for it, but we see it coming. And so the first thing is to get the hand up, not get hit, sink and step. Kind of all happens at once. Now you're going to shift the weight, turn the body. And their punch should be up here on your right arm, and this left hand, or this hand will be by their elbow. So stay there. At the end of the attack, I would have punched and you would have warded me off, and I'll be right there. Yeah. So the right arm is what does the warding off. You'd be here and just open the fingers a little bit. Yeah, good. And this would be here in case I tried to come over. Good. So any questions about that? Cool. All right. So let's focus in on pullback just for fun. Skip a review on that for now. Pullback is a really cool characteristic kind of move of Tai Chi because it yields. Have you heard of yielding in Tai Chi? Yielding? So yeah, I should have talked about it by now. I haven't. So yielding is, it's the art, it's the feeling of the attack comes in, and rather than meeting it with full resistance, you sort of come in contact with it and then go with it for a little ways before you do something else. You don't just go with it because then you'll lose eventually, right? But rather than meeting force with force, you're going to meet an attack with yielding by shifting back, yielding by turning, and then letting them go on their way. I liked the idea that pullback isn't the best translation. You can say roll back too. So when we do this next application, the attack will come in and you will kind of shift and turn and roll, and it's assuming their attack is overcommitted basically, and they'll go with it. So, what's that?
It's just in effect deflecting momentum?
In a way, it ends up being a little more than that, but there's a thing, well, I'll try not to get too far into talking about it without feeling it, but it's yielding and then turning and redirecting, maybe. Yeah, deflecting implies like angular to me, so redirecting maybe. But, so how am I gonna do it? We'll have, one of these. Yeah, 2 blockers. How about, this will be mine and this burns, this one can be yours. So basically, as the attacker, why don't both of y'all go ahead and get into your ward off right position. So we're going to kind of show you how this is going to work. So your Double Dragons, or maybe I'll show it on you and you'll show us. Yeah. So get into your ward off right. Come where you can see. Yeah. Okay. So basically, if you remember from the form, after your ward off right, you're going to turn to the right a little more. So this left arm is what you're going to meet the attack with. Does that make sense?
This is already.
Yeah, it's already done its thing. You turn a little more. Basically, the first attack was a right. Here I'm going to come in with the left now. Right? So I should have you attack me, right? That's what I should do. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still figuring out this no contact application. So I turn here comes the left, and I would meet it, and then the punch would still be coming in, so I would shift back with it, and then I would turn, and then if I need to, I would hook the wrist and pull a little bit at the end. But if you can imagine, if she was thinking she was going to hit me out here, by this point she's already way off balance, right? So here's again, punch, shift, turn, go, yeah. And it has the same problem of not the friction and the pressure.
Like it's a left.
Yeah, I pull, and then my right hand helps you out if I need it. But basically, you're just going to go that way. Yeah. And if I shift and turn and connect it to my body, it's really no challenge. It's no complex.
So you just like toss them that way.
Yeah, pretty much.
So is it connected to the other one then?
Yeah. So this ward off right,
So
pull back, press and push.
Right punch.
And it's a left, and then you pull back. Yeah. And then if it didn't work, then we can press and push too. But if it works, you're already gone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, this would be a good one for gloves. More than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do it this way. Let's stick with the way. I keep trying to find better ways to do it. So it comes in, shift, turn. Okay. That's it. Cool. All right. I'll work with Mrs. Croft and Mr. Barrett. Cool. So let's try it. You want to try and move through and orient yourself like the form.
If
So
you just do this one, like this.
there you go. So get your right foot forward.
So you want that.
And get your ward off right.
And you're
So the right arm will be like this. And then after that, you turn a little more. And this left arm, don't shift back yet, shift forward. Yeah, and this left arm is where you're going to attack. Okay. So the attack comes in. Shift back with it, turn with it, and let it go. Yeah, that's it. Shift forward. Thumbs.
You never really want to block like that, because that's a little bit harder.
I guess I should move my left.
Full body.
Good. I'm pushing and against you and forward to simulate the pressure.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah, cool.
So it has to be shifted. Where it comes down, and turn this way and then shift back.
So you're here,
Or you come down and shift back.
you don't come down, you just shift back. You shift back and you turn. So, cool. So now in your left, okay, think. So how to make it work? First of all, in your left arm, you want palm energy. That means it's not like loose, it has that kind of embracing horse, rounded, connected feeling in it. So that structure through the arm gives you enough resistance to the punch to do something with it rather than just feel kind of mushy. Does that make sense?
And when you end it, you're just here.
Yeah.
You don't really turn your feet down.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And when people are doing this for real for the first time, that's often what happens. You try to use your arms and your body and you like turn and go with it. But if you do it with your waist correctly, the legs, the feet don't come up. Yeah. So if you can feel like, like this big swing of both arms together, that's the main power of this, even though it expresses in the left hand. Does that make sense? All right. I guess I'll just, let's, do you want to try it at me? So, punch comes in, keeps coming in. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that will fully use it.
Yeah, good. Check on that. Try to just move by yourself. And imagine the application.
Can't really feel the difference. And like, sure. You look good.
Good, yeah. Okay, team. So, questions so far? So the trick of this that makes it Tai Chi, and not just another move, is that when you're shifting back, you want as much as you can to be using their force to shift you. So it's almost like you're letting them shift you back, and then you're letting them turn you. And then only at the very end do you sort of add much to it. Because what it normally takes, at first, usually you're like moving with them and turning with them, as opposed to the idea of their attack is what's moving you back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just weird to do because there's no force.
Yeah, yeah, it's all in the imagination right now,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's try it a little bit more. Just make sure both of you can get There you go, yeah. And then when the attack comes in, you're just gonna basically come up and touch it.
Oh, we're doing something different?
No, same thing. I'm explaining it further. So when the attack comes in, you're gonna meet it and keep the structure in the arm and let that structure in the arm shift you back. And let that structure in the arm return.
What was I doing before? Did I have something
No,
better?
that's basically right. I'm just refining it. I'm talking about the quality of where the feeling in the arm and where it's
So it just needs to be like this. And this is like this.
just here. Turn a little.
Oh, okay, that's where that came. I was wondering how you got from here to here.
It's all good. Just turn a little more. There, and when it's, yeah, there it is. So here it comes. Yeah, see, okay, yeah, what I'm mainly talking about is keeping it out from the body. That's all. There you go. Yeah, good. Because when it's collapsed into the body, you can't really do much with it, but when it's out here, you turn and shift.
Okay.
That's all. One more. Yeah, you're good. So here you are. Stay shifted forward and just turn a little more. And turn a little more. So you're right. There you go. That's all. All right. Check that one more time. Good. Yes. Thinking. Okay, cool. We're getting it. Yeah, excellent. All right. Any other questions on it? Let's try to combine them. Okay, so now, basically, if you want to be the guinea pig, basically you're going to, or, no, there's the other way. Confused. So I want you to attack me first with the right, and then you withdraw it and do it the left. So first the right comes in. Oh, no, not get hit. Then you do the left. And this is, yeah. So that's ward off right, pull left. Does that make sense?
Can I say it again?
Yeah, sure. So this is the ward off right. As we did last class, so you can see this. Pull that. Yeah. So just try to put them together, that's all. Give it a shot. So this is like after your ward off left. This is after your ward off left. When you turn to the left, sink down and step in. This is right there. Yeah. So here comes ward off right. Good. Yeah, that's natural for you. Good. And then here comes pull back. Oh yeah, that's right.
Go back.
So makes sense. Pardon me, connect for you. Ward off right. Good. Yeah, that's right. Back. Yeah, there you go. Pull back. A couple more times. Sorry. You can work that. Good. Spear. Double stab. Yeah. Good. Turning with the body. All right. Good. Cool. Same. All right. So in both of these applications, just what's characteristically Tai Chi about it, we're not letting them get in our space, and then we're shifting and turning with the body to get them off us, right? And then they're coming at us again. Now we're letting it get in our space, but we're using the legs and the waist against their arm while they're off balance. So that's how Tai Chi sort of stacks things in your advantage. And you know, it's the art there where you could assume you're the least strong, what would still be effective. That's what Tai Chi's about. Not that you want to be the least strong, but just, right. It's not about mainly strength. So, any last questions? Okay, let's put these, just throw them down over here, I'll clean them up. Here, cool. Let's do our life skill. The leopard, focused mind. The path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. A focused mind sees no obstacles. Path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. A focused mind sees no obstacles. Path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. Focused mind sees no obstacles.
That's the instructor.
Now, 2 beginner students, advanced students, black sash training, dismissed.